Good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Martin's Koi Pond, Aquatics and fishing. Yes, we sometimes have some fishing on this channel. Right, I've been away for a few weeks because I've really not had much to film. Pond and tank have been turning over nicely, but I've got a bit of an update for you today on various things. Now, when last you saw the pond, it had the single-tailed goldfish in out of the big tank, and I put them in here to grow on a bit, and boy did they grow on. So there they came back out of the pond a couple of days ago, and they're back in the big tank, so we'll see them in a bit. But the koi have really grown, and some of them are getting massive, and most notably the Macasio gone over there, which was only 30 centimeters last year, and look at it now, well over 55, probably pushing 60. The only one I've got that's probably over 60 is the is Mega, the shower, but the larger of the grass carp, that's over 60 as well. So other fish that are doing really well, the Kahaku, Claire, that's put on some real size this year. Daisy, the Shiro, that's put on some nice size this year. A lot of the little grow-ons are no longer little. You've got the Chagoi there and the Soragoi that thinks it's a Chagoi. It's sort of like half and half. They're both really doing well. Bear in mind they were only like 15 to 20 centimetre fish when I got them, and they're both well over 30. I am doing this in the rain for you guys, just to point that out. The auto feeder has gone. We are now on hand feeding, and only twice a day. They've really slowed down on the food, which has surprised me because the temperature is still holding at sort of 17-18 degrees, but they just don't want a lot of it now like they were. So I'm feeding them 2 or 3 small feeds a day. When I say small, they're still plenty of food, but small compared to what they were having, and they are polishing it all off. And I've moved over to my winter food, which is wheat German garlic, and they'll be getting that now until probably again next May, when I'll switch back to some growth orientated food. Little Tancho's doing well. Look, Tank, it's growing well. And for some reason this fish, it's a Sankey that my son bought me. We call it Speck because it had little black specks on it. It's lost all its black again this year. It had some lovely black markings through the summer, and we've come into sort of towards autumn, and its black has faded away again. So we'll have to see how that develops next year. What else have I got to tell you about the pond? I'm now down to, because I've reduced the food, I've reduced the cleaning on the Nexus. I'm cleaning the Nexus once a week now, as opposed to twice a week, and that certainly has worked alright. I've cleaned it about an hour ago, and I've got the topping up at the minute. It goes through a dechlorinator, but I also put some sodium thiosulfate in, just to make sure I get all the chlorine. But I hope you agree with me, but I think the pond is looking magnificent. I think I've got a lovely mix of fish. It does favour yellow colours, but that's just my favourite, so that's why my fish tend to be perhaps more on the yellow side, but there's quite a few orange and red ones in there as well. I think I've got a nice mix. Certainly won't be buying any new fish next year. We've got a decent stocking in here now, and just grow these guys on. they're all keepers in my opinion. Right, I'll get back to you inside with one of the tanks. So welcome back, and here we have the big tank. Just to remind you, it's 6 foot by 2.5 by 20 inches, so it holds I think it's 740 litres roughly. It's big, and I've moved all the single tail goldfish back in here from outside. They were outside for 2 months. There is one koi in here, which I'm sure you guys will spot, but yeah, they've probably doubled in size in that 2 months, most of them. They are huge. The camera doesn't really show how big they are. I always think this tank looks a lot smaller than it actually is on camera, but there's one koi, the white platinum ogon, that I bought as a little 10cm fish. It's probably about 20 now, 25. Just going to keep it in here for a little while and grow on with these goldies. He's considerably smaller than anything else in the pond and doesn't really get much food out there, so my thinking is these are getting fed 3 times a day. That'll help him grow on. He'll get lots of food in here, and probably next spring he'll go back in the pond. Now the goldies, I think, are here to stay in this tank. I love them, absolutely love them. I think they've got some beautiful fish. I've got these really short-bodied ones that are really bright red. Another one there. And then I've got some longer body ones like this white and red one here, and that white and red one there. I don't know the technical names of goldfish. I know some are comets, some are shabunkins. Now, blue shabunkins doing really well. So yeah, that's the single tails. And like I say, they're in here to stay now, for now anyway. I'm very much prone to changing my mind about things, but very pleased with how much growth they put on in the 2 months they were outside, and I think this tank looks spectacular. Right, let's see what the fancies are doing. Right, welcome back. So I've put the 450 back into use. I had it's doing a bit freaky with the lights. I had shut it down for a couple of months, and the fancies were in the main tank. They're now back in the 450. They have grown well as well though, and I'm seriously tempted next summer to pop them in the pond for a couple of months just to see what happens. I wouldn't put the black moor in the pond because I'll never see it to catch it again, but the others, I think they might all go in the pond next year for a couple of months, but we'll see. Loads of food up there. They get a right varied diet. You have to be very careful with fancies because they are prone to buoyancy issues with trapped gas, so it's best to feed them sinking foods rather than floating foods. I do feed them a particular food that is supposed to help with gas. Whether it does or not, I don't know. But certainly I'm not having any buoyancy issues with them thus far. And certain ones are really grown. I mean, this red-capped oranda is double the size it was when I bought it. So look forward to seeing, really, how we can grow these on next year. So that, everyone, is a short update on all my fish, and to let you know I'm still about, still healthy, still loving the hobby, but you know, when things are going well and you're just feeding and maintaining, there's not really anything to video. So I'm not going to put videos out for the sake of putting a video out. But if there's anything worth recording over the winter months, I will record it. Now I am due at some point in October to put my winter leaf net over the pond, stop all the leaves getting in. So that will be going on probably in about 2 weeks' time, and then we will be in a sort of winter mode with the pond. But that's the update. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, those that are subscribed. And I will catch you whenever I do another video.